Look out behind you. I can't do that. My voice is killing me. Oh, I can't make comments, scary comments anymore.
I can do a recap.
Go on then, recap.
You're turning into a necromorph.
Slowly but surely it's happening. But in this game it would be... In the host...
You're regretting doing that now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So we're going to the... Is it the atrium?
No, it's
No,
the
it's the-
hydroponics.
Hydroponics. I knew it was a name like that. To go for the Leviathan.
Which will be next part.
What, next week?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Try and keep... Well, Mass Effect's long. Until you can get in full glory of the Leviathan. We still got to clear the other half of the air from the
Which
poisonous.
actually, I found out, isn't just from the Bible. It's actually a Hebrew word.
Is it?
Just means, well, essentially, actually, yeah.
Big thing.
It's actually the word whale. The idea is it's a large sea creature. In the Bible, it's referred to this giant monster, this giant sea creature. Modern day Israel, the word Leviathan is just used to say whale.
Sounds more badass if Moby Dick was chasing. No, if Captain Ahab was chasing a Leviathan instead of a whale. Hey, look at your favourite thing.
Oh, no.
The screaming ones on the wall.
I hate them. Dude, I'm not be fond of a lot of the necromorphs.
You're not meant to. You're not meant to go, oh, they're so cute and cuddly.
People are like that with, like, Zerg.
But they are adorable.
Oh, stop screaming!
They are adorable. They are adorable. Hey, you had Zerg the pet being the most badass dog ever. I'm sorry, what do you want to do? Sing a jaunty tune? There's no business like... What do you want from him?
Nothing, I don't want them in pain.
Well, I put them in more pain by rubbing the buzzsaw through them. But I do it out of love. Also, I ran out of ammo for my clever because it's like, back to the shop. Sorry, your credit card's been rejected. Uh-oh. Well, I'm running out. No ammo. That was the wrong button I pressed on. I'm saying how much ammo I've got on the Ripper. I all of it. Good thing they have infinite stock. Or is it all stock like digitally stored and it just you download it and it forms a hard thing? Sounds like more sexual than it should. A hard thing. I'm expecting a George Takai. There we are. Also, he surprised me at the door. That was the most scariest bit of the game right there.
Most scariest?
The most scary. It was so scary it made me grammatically incorrect. That's how shocking it was to my system.
So why was it the scariest?
Because most of this game isn't scary. Unless you count making you jump be scary, in which case my cat is the master of horror. You know, Kubrick hasn't got a fucking anything on my cat making me jump. Call of Duty games can make you jump if something loud goes off. Don't count that as being scary. Horror is what you don't see. What your imagination. That's the one thing that will always scare you the most, is your own imagination.
Yeah, it's why Alien works so well in terms of that.
That was a cool looking monster.
That as well.
I mean,
but isn't that very much the argument in terms of when is something horror or thriller?
Thriller, kind of.
What's the difference between horror and thriller? Because thriller is more psychological.
Thriller was Michael Jackson when he was a black man. Horror was Michael Jackson when he was a white man. Well, whatever plastic, silicon concoction of a human being he was in his later years. Wax. He was his own man. You saw mannequin statue.
No, I'm just thinking of the Lenny the comic relief Lenny Henry sketch there with Lenny Henry and Rowan, where Lenny Henry is Michael Jackson, and it says about how he's made of plastic Wallace and Molson Gromit. I'll send the link to you.
I think of Rowan X in the comic relief. I think of the time he was the Doctor.
Oh, the Curse of Untimely Death.
Amazing, that is.
That's a brilliant one.
It's better than some modern day episodes. Jonathan Price was the master. It was hilarious. They're like bumps.
Who else did you have as the Doctor then? It was
Hugh
Jim
Grant
Broadbent,
at one point, Joanne Lumley,
Richard E. Grant.
Richard E. Grant, which has the animated thing.
Yeah, Scream the Shelter.
Yes, he was the Doctor. Joanne Lumley, Richard Grant, Jim Broadbent was one. Not it really. Off the top of my head. Back to a conversation about horror and thriller. I don't know. What do you think the difference is?
For me, thrillers tend to be more psychological, so it's not looking at monsters.
Horror can be more psychological.
Horror can be more supernatural as well.
Supernatural can be psychological.
No, I know that, but I mean in terms of the content of the film and the narrative.
What about a horror thriller? And just completely falls apart at that point. I mean, all horrors are thrilling, or at least good horror films should be thrilling. And to me, most 80s slashers aren't thrilling. I don't know. Some of the originals, like the original Nightmare on Elm Street, has got some freaky stuff in it. But wouldn't ever call it scary. In fact, you would argue slash films are more thrillers than they are horror films.
Yeah, that's true.
Hiding in the house, you know.
I think horror also has the matter of horror is horrific.
Yeah.
In the sense of it's you see gore and violence.
Gore doesn't
bloody,
scare me.
gory.
Gore makes me laugh usually.
No, I'm not saying it's
Especially when
scary.
overdone. It comes unless it's done intentionally, like Evil Dead. It's so over the top.
Well, something doesn't have to be horror. If something's horrifying, it might not scare you. It might repulse.
Or make me
Or get a
laugh.
different reaction. A thriller is there to thrill. It's suspense, which works in terms of why they're scary a lot of the time. Because, like you're saying, it's what you don't see. It's the imagination work. The imagination's working of what is there you don't know. Horror a lot of the time is, as we see with this, it's gratuitous death. It's bloody. It's violent. Not necessarily violent, but bloody, gory, but over the top.
Evil Dead's intentionally over the top. Like
If I
there
was
is
to look-
gallons of blood in that, and the point where it becomes hilarious. And
If
just
I were to use when we did the sort of history of the horror stuff, and look, when we did the Hammer Horror, Kensington Gore, lashings of blood and all that kind of thing. That's typically an idea of horror.
think you can hide from me.
Generally, though, there is going to be crossover. You're right in terms of.
Looks like I said before, do you count the first Bioshock game as a horror game?
Not terribly.
Too far to count this as a horror game. No, the original Silent Hills, they are messed up. And but then again, they are more kind of supernatural, or what you don't see, what you do see. Whereas Bioshock is more of a. There is scary stuff in Bioshock. Scary moments of things popping out behind you. Here's a tentacle again. Now it's Japanese horror. Well, Japanese horror is just a lot of little girls with psychic powers.
Yeah, that works.
That's Japanese.
Right, here we are. The definition for thriller. Thrillers are characterized and defined by the moods they elicit, giving viewers heightened feelings of suspense, excitement, surprise, anticipation, and anxiety. So that's thriller. Horror thrillers, a common thing they have in them when they mix over, are serial killers, stalking death traps, and horror of personality. You've got crossover a bit more now, or overlap.
I came down here to find Dr. Elizabeth Cross, but she's not here.
Because a lot of thrillers tend to have gore, sadistic violence, brutality, terror, frightening scenes.
Shit everywhere. I'm going to check the mining deck. It's about the only place I haven't looked yet.
Here we are. We've got a few examples here. Horror thriller.
Go on then, hit me.
Type of film that blends the horror and thriller genres, focusing on suspense, tension, and adrenaline, while having an emphasis on fear, terror, and or gore. Because a thriller doesn't have to be terrifying in the same sense. Many horror films tend to cross over into the thriller genre due to their suspenseful, tense nature. Personages of supernatural origin may be present in such films. Examples of horror thrillers include Saw, The Strangers, Hostel, Eden Lake, Psycho, Jaws, Scream, Final Destination, The Exorcist, Devil, The Uninvited, and The Orphanage. They're all examples of horror thriller. Because equally, you get loads of different kinds of horror thriller. Because you can have like a psychological thriller, political thriller,
Political horror.
Yeah.
I was known as America now.
a comedy thriller.
Comedy horror is frequently though. Say Evil Dead.
Comedy horror is quite common. Yeah, comedy horror
is the idea, or like making fun of the tropes of 80s slasher films.
Yeah.
Just that Scream did it.
Action thriller.
Action thriller.
Those are quite common actually. I'm just looking through them, thinking most action films that are made nowadays generally come under the action.
You don't
thriller.
get the old kind of 80s action films you used to these days.
No.
Unless it's unintentionally like the Expendables for a joke.
Yeah. Well, even the Expendables were done because they were all stars of that age of films.
It didn't get the same. It gets why the later Die Hard films suffer.
Something huge just
Yeah,
slammed into
it's
the phone here
the
through
thing
storage.
of the audience
It
has
wasn't a
moved
rogue
on.
asteroid. I know
In
what
some
that
ways,
sounds
they
like.
want a different kind
Also
of
by the
film.
fact later Die Hard films, John McClane can survive anything, whereas in the original Die Hard, he was just your average cop.
Yeah,
He gets thrown
I
into a
don't
situation
think that.
where Alan Rickman takes over a building. German Alan Rickman. You know that was a book originally? Well,
Was it really?
Not Die Hard, Die Hard, something else, but originally a book. Basic idea, the plot and premise.
Well, the first one.
Yeah, the first Die Hard film. It's a book by someone. I think it's a book credited in the open titles. I mean, it's very different, the book and the film.
Here we are. It's based on Roderick Thorpe's 1979 novel Nothing Lasts Forever,
Yeah.
which was a sequel
Yes, which is a sequel to...
to the 1966 book The Detective, which was made into a film in 1968 called The Detective and starred Frank Sinatra.
Which means that Die Hard's a sequel to a Frank Sinatra film.
Yes.
My God. I don't know.
That's
And we
weird.
thought Marvel could do it with their cinematic universes.
And even then, Bruce Willis wasn't the first choice to play John McClane.
John McClane, well, the main character in the original book is really old.
Yeah, but the person the studio pitched it to...
Christopher Walken, that'd been amazing.
No. Because because it was a remake, Fox were contractually obligated to offer Frank Sinatra the lead role in Die Hard.
Wow.
They had to offer him the role, and then he turned it down because of who owned the rights to it. But the studio pitched the film after turned it down, surprisingly. They offered the role to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay, will work quite well.
It's to be a sequel to Commando. He
Good
turned
film.
it down.
I'm sure they turned the film down.
Yeah, he turned it down. And so the studio then went to reluctantly gave it to Bruce Willis.
Reluctantly.
Well,
I
that was-
don't think Die Hard would have worked well for Schwarzenegger.
No, well, the whole thing is that Bruce Willis was then mostly known as a comedy television actor. This was what propelled him into being an action star. Before then, because you see it in all of his films, he always has this comedy streak to his characters, which comes across because he was a comedy actor. It's bizarre to think of it now, because when you think Bruce Willis, you think...
I'm trying to think of something that wasn't Die Hard and it's off my head, Bruce Willis. So you think Bruce Willis is a ghost? Spoiler alert. The Sixth Sense.
Still never seen that film.
Neither have I just know the plot twist, which you can it's one of those plot twists that it's like everyone knows. No. Bruce Willis is a ghost.
Anyway, enough about Bruce Willis.
You should be in this game.
That would make it a lot... Actually, that would make the game more fun, I think.
That's the reason. There's also a reason the main character in the book didn't talk so much, as Bruce Willis spent most of the film talking to himself. You kind of need, because you need someone to talk to, and there's no one to talk to, so he talks to himself. He makes wry comments to himself. Or occasionally gloats to Hans Wilbur.
That's the last one, Isaac. There's a switch in atmosphere control to restart the oxygen recycling. Once the air's clean, you can get into
How do you get oxygen? Is it an oxygen recycling unit? I don't know. It's been basically a plant. Could be return carbon dioxide to oxygen.
Could be a while.
How do you recycle oxygen? Because how exactly does oxygen get used to the point where it needs to be recycled? Unless you mean it turns to carbon dioxide. At which point I'll argue it's not oxygen anymore. I hate zero G. It gets really disorienting really quickly when you suddenly the ceiling's now the floor.
This thing messes with your perspective on things.
It's like playing the Alien in the Alien vs Predator, where you go up the walls and and you're like, where's the ground now? Where's the ground? And I'm losing track of where everything is. Although Isaac doesn't move quite as fast as the Xenomorph does.
No.
Right, odd game if he did. Isaac Clarke, Dead Space on ice, on roller skates. It needs to get made. I love how he walks through this. He doesn't run. He almost walks like, ew, ew, on my shoe, on my shoe. But you can't run through the gunk, wherever it's going to be. The biomass of just stuff.
I think biomass is probably the best way for it.
Can't run. Ew, ew, ew. Or does he like realise he might slip and he passed his health and safety. He knows not to run on Secret Services.
Yeah.
He passed his health and safety check. Whatever the space equivalent of health and safety is. Space health and safety. Never drive drunk, especially in a spaceship. You may think, oh, there's a lot less to hit in space, but you'd be surprised. Not bad, he fell over. He's wearing a helmet. Looks like it was in his mouth or under his nails or... He's lifting doors easily. She's some sort of barrier.
Doors tend to be a barrier.
There isn't one in this lift. The floor just goes down. I feel like that's unsafe. Go for the boys again.
I don't like to do that, but...
I'm not... There are points where you can't go around. I don't
jump
have
over them.
You can't... It's not a horror game. You can't jump. What do you think this is? And this is Mario or something? A lot of games surprising when you can't jump in them. This is one of the first things that feels restrictive when you can't jump. Especially because the slightest raise in terrain you can't get over. Like, oh, for God's sake, lift your leg higher. You don't even need to leave the ground to get that. Just upgrading some stuff. Upgrading my phone to an Android, so...
Isaac, where are you? Help me.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's all
You're
green.
my only hope.
Yes. From the now that one makes Star Wars interesting. It's just turned to Dead Space halfway through.
Ooh.
Be interesting. Okay, let's go change genres rapidly.